I remember this site. But it's been a while since I last read the stuff on here. However, I do remember meeting a woman in her 30s from Europe, and she was down to earth.
And you also told me you noticed a difference between girls in America and European girls when you went to Greece in July.
Yeah, I did. On this flight from Atlanta to Amsterdam, I noticed the girls were down to earth and that there were more women than men, unlike here in the US where I see more men, particularly in places like San Francisco, San Diego, and parts of Phoenix. In El Paso, the ratio of men to women is equal.
But there's the possibility of more single women than single men here in El Paso because most of the women I met here didn't have boyfriends. Up in Albuquerque, most of the girls I met had boyfriends. So it's really a whole different story down here. Also, as I said earlier, many of Albuquerque girls I met were quite superficial and stuck up, most notably the ones I met in the fall 2012 semester such as Mariah and Lily. But that was not the case with the Ivy girls, although some people in the UNMIV chapter were reserved.
Yeah, I also kind of noticed a difference in El Paso compared to other cities, and my friend Chris told me that in Boston he had a much harder time meeting girls than in El Paso. From what he told me, the girls he encountered were unapproachable.
Well, to tell you the truth, some girls even approached me here in El Paso, but that was mostly before Eli came along. The bottom line is, from my experience, I had it easier meeting girls here than up in Albuquerque. A lot of El Paso girls would make eye contact and I could start conversations. And now I'm starting to see that location to seem to matter to an extent. El Pasoans tend to be community-oriented because it's part of the Hispanic culture.
I see. Now I can tell where you're coming from based on what I'm reading on this site. I want to meet Winston Wu someday, and then he and I can go to Mexico or anywhere outside the US.
Another factor to getting girls is the type of girl you want to consider dating. Eli was a devoted Christian, and I relied on God to help me out as I got to know Eli more. Location isn't everything, but it's one factor.
Anyways, I'm going to make an account for the Happier Abroad forum. So I just created an account on Happier Abroad. Now I'm going to verify my account with my email and then I'll make my first post.
Anyways, what were Greek girls like?
They were so pretty, and I mean naturally good looking. They didn't wear any makeup and weren't superficial. I'm also going to purchase the ebook.
Hi, so you must be Larry?
I am. And you must be Winston Wu.
You're right on. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Same to you as well.
Thank you. So welcome to the Happier Abroad movement, the biggest dating secret for men. I've heard you had trouble meeting women so far.
I still do to this day, and let me tell you about my experience with women. Last semester, I dated this girl for 3 months and it appeared things were going smoothly, but near the end of the spring semester, she broke up with me for someone else in Los Angeles. Not only she left me but she also blocked me on Facebook and changed her number, and she even changed her email address. Ever since then I had no luck with girls, but 2 of my friends had no problems getting dates. One of them already has a girlfriend. Many people told me I was coming off as desperate, needy, and too aggressive, and recently I was getting help from one of my friends to get any girl I want, but he quit helping me, all because of my negative attitude. Most of my other friends have told me I need to focus on finishing school and getting a job first and then dating. I feel like El Paso is the hardest place in America for meeting women. I just want to move to Phoenix.
Well, Larry, I can see where you're coming from. I had trouble meeting women here in America, and so do a lot of men. I was raised to believe that the problem was me. But as you may remember from reading from my website, the problem is not you. The problem is our society is very dysfunctional, and I realized that in 2002 when I went to Russia.
I even noticed similar experiences when I went to Greece last summer. The girls from the Netherlands look more authentic and down to earth, like your site mentions. However, I didn't meet any girls in Europe.
So let me tell you this. The worst place in America for meeting women is not El Paso. It's mainly in the coastal areas like Boston, New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco, Las Vegas. Inland folks are more down to earth, and so are those living in small towns. But the dating scene in America is a no-win situation all around for men. Unless they were in the top 10% in terms of money, looks, and status. And then you even told me every girl you desired preferred bad boys over nice guys. You're so right about that. A lot of American women say they want a nice guy, but they fall for a bad boy instead because they think nice guys are boring. That's why nice guys either end up getting friend-zoned or rejected.
Well, one of my friends thinks that El Paso is a dating paradise compared to elsewhere he's been in America, including his former city Albuquerque, New Mexico. From what he said, many of the girls here in El Paso were approachable, and some even approached him, all of whom he met at UTEP. Even his girlfriend lives here and goes to UTEP.
That's interesting. I've been here just once, and I thought the girls I saw seemed stuck up and all of them had boyfriends. Maybe I didn't see the good ones.
But my friend, along with one of the moderators on the Happy Air Abroad forum, had different experiences regarding meeting women here. He's been here a dozen times and moved here.
You must be talking about Frank Schmidt. He posted about how El Paso women aren't put on pedestals unlike anywhere else he goes in America. This other person must be Matt Hansen. Matt also told me El Paso women were more down to earth.
From experience, I noticed many of the non-Hispanic white girls in America acting more stuck up. I like the white girls, especially blondes.
And I see your point. A lot of the men who can get dates in America prefer white women, and I was interested in them as well. And that's partly why most men get nowhere. But from what Matt has told me, he prefers the Hispanic girls. Do keep in mind that before going abroad, not every guy can fit in with the same cultures that I can fit in. For instance, some guys can do better in Russia while some may do really well in Latin America. For me, the country I do best in with meeting women is the Philippines. In America you can't talk to strangers unless it was business related, and trying to cold approach and flirt women in public is seen as creepy in America. And since you like blonde girls, I think you and I should go to Europe or Russia. Even in other westernized countries like the UK or Australia, women are easier to talk to. Some guys on my forum who are from either the UK or Australia say their women are just like American women, but those from either the UK or Australia who dated in America. In America, people are conditioned to live to work, which means you are tied down to the company you work for and have basically no freedom. However, in most countries outside the US, people work to live, which means their lives are based on experiences and adventures. America is for business, not living life.
So I was thinking you and I should go to the UK first and then Russia. I don't speak Russian.
To be honest with you, the language barrier is not a big issue like most people in the US think. In fact, a lot of foreign women are multilingual.
I see. So I may consider going to Russia or the Ukraine next time I go abroad.
So I'm wondering, when would you like to go abroad?
Over the winter break, but the week after finals I'm going to Lubbock, so let's plan for January.
Also, one of these days would you like to go to see Dad Juarez? It's actually much safer now than it was a few years back.
I might actually.